Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and today I'll be reacting to some more Billy Joel. We're going to be checking out the song Leningrad. And before actually jumping into the song, we're going to check out a short clip from the Bridge to Russia documentary that also features Billy Joel. And hopefully that should provide us some context for the Leningrad song. My presumption, even though I'm many years removed from taking a history class, my presumption is that this song is going to be something to do with the Cold War between the United States and Russia, which then makes me think this video is probably going to get blocked in Russia, as my videos tend to do, especially the Billy Joel ones. But either way, I'm excited to check this out here today. But before jumping in, a massive thank you goes to Rodney the Resourceful, whose generous support made this reaction possible. As always, Rodney, I deeply appreciate you. And now, let's jump in. We'll start with the documentary. "6 years before I was born."
Part of me wants to go back because it was such an exhilarating experience for us and for the people that we played for. But that was at that time. I have no delusions now that it's the same time. This was a time of hope. It was right on the cutting edge of glasnost and perestroika. There was a feeling of optimism and hope and youth and vigor and progress, and things were going to get better, and the world was going to be made right. That hasn't happened. It's gotten worse for people. But the Soviet Union was probably the most exciting series of concerts that I've ever played. I mean, to this day, I still have very vivid images in my mind.
So he's intimating a time where the United States and Russia post-World War II were actually getting along and collaborative? Because I thought it was an immediate transition into the Cold War, so there was never that grace period of camaraderie. It's interesting to hear him say that.
Of what that looked like and what it felt like, what it smelled like, and how intense it all was. Now here we are, well, what is it, almost 5 years later, where people have seen the changes. But at that time, people forget, it was still a Cold War. They were still the enemy. They were the evil empire. Before we went, I mentioned to audiences around the States I was going to go do a tour of the Soviet Union. And they booed. A lot of audiences booed. It really disappointed me. I assumed that the audience that came to see me knew better than that. And it strengthened my resolve to really make this work, to do this, to go the extra mile, to try to bring back some sign of real people being over there, people that they can relate to. You don't want to fight these people. You don't want to bomb these people. You want to go out and see some rock and roll with these people.
Yeah.
They're more like Americans.
It's very important to humanize people because it becomes very easy in times of crises to externalize all of one's responsibility and problems and unilaterally blame the other side and treat them as, basically the perfect representation of evil, like they could never do anything right or represent any goodness in humanity. But in reality, we can all come together and love one another. That sounds very kumbaya, but I do hold this belief that love is the great healer, if we allow it to be, if we put effort towards that.
I think than any other nationality in the world. They love Americans. You can't go anywhere else in the world. People go, I love America. You go, they shoot Americans in other countries. They throw bombs at Americans. You go to Russia, they love you.
Really?
When my daughter was born, everything changed for me. The whole focus of attention went away from me to my child. All the care, all the concern went to the kid. My concept of time, my perception of time expanded incredibly. To her lifetime now, beyond my lifetime, to her children's lifetime. And it really was probably the singularly most strong motive I had for going to the Soviet Union. Not wanting her to grow up in a Cold War with this, being paranoid about this unknown enemy. I feel like I did something. I tried. And to me, that means a lot. That's changed me.
Just trying is half the battle. People don't want to try.
Victor was a character I saw every night. He went overboard. He was so dramatic. He was so rapturous.
The best guy in the audience. You give me the energy to do my show.
He showed up originally in Moscow. We found him at the Gorky Park Circus.
He's a fan.
He'd come to the show the night before. If I invited him to come again, I gave him a stage pass. He came every night, this guy. The next series of concerts, which were in Leningrad, there he was. We looked for him in the audience, and Christy would always comment on him. And my daughter sort of related to this fellow. He didn't speak any English, but she could relate to this clown kind of guy, a circus guy. He asked for a picture of my family, and I gave him a whole stack of stuff. And, as I said, look, here's my heart, you're taking care of my heart. And he just broke down. I mean, broke down, sobbing. And I haven't had that kind of simpatico with someone that I've only briefly met for a long time. This was a deeply felt friendship here. So leaving him was very difficult, and as much as I wanted to go home, I felt a really great sadness. And I wanted to write
That's so sad.
Some kind of music about this. Meeting the representative of what was supposed to be my enemy and finding out he was my friend.
Wow. Just the story enough.
Maybe my song marks the end of an era. Hopefully it does.
Okay, so we're gonna actually check out the full Leningrad song here at this point, but what a story. It kind of reminds me a bit of the story in World War I, the Christmas truce. I don't know if you guys are aware of that story. I'll try to tell it in short. But basically during Christmas, after months and I think at that point years of fighting, both sides decided to put down their arms just kind of flippantly and enjoy Christmas together, right? Going into no man's land, crossing the trenches and playing soccer together, singing songs together, just being brothers together, sharing the love of humanity, of just being friends and enjoying each other's company. And then of course they went back to fighting later, but for that brief moment, everybody was able to kind of forget the terrible things that were happening and realize that you are fighting yourself when you're shooting. You're fighting yourself when you're killing. It's a larger system that we belong to. It's kind of like a more spiritual belief that I have, but we are all part of the human collective. We can't disentangle ourselves from the universe as a whole. It would be foolish to think so. That's just my opinion. Let's check out Leningrad.
Victor was born in the spring of '44 and never saw his father anymore. A child of sacrifice, a child of war, another son who never had a father. After Leningrad went off to school and learn to serve the state, followed the rules, and drank his vodka straight. The only way to live was drown the hate. Russian life was very sad, and such was life in Leningrad.
Wow.
I was born in 49, a Cold War kid in McCarthy time. Stop them at the 38th parallel, blast those yellow reds to hell. Cold War kids were hard to kill, under their desk in an air raid drill. Haven't they heard we won the war? What do they keep on fighting for?
I wonder when this footage was filmed. So this song came out when, in like the 80s, something like that, late 80s, 90s. And I guess this footage looks considerably older, maybe 70s, 80s, 90s, something like that. It's a different time, man. When I look back, obviously I wasn't a part of it, but it just makes me feel like, man, we were humans then, we're humans now. It's kind of stupid to like act as if history isn't a part of us too.
Haven't they heard we won the war? What do they keep on fighting for?
These are our ancestors.
Victor was sent
Although I'm not Russian, I'm
to
Indian.
some Red Army town, served out his time, became a circus clown. The greatest happiness he'd ever found was making Russian children glad.
Wow.
Children lived in Leningrad.
That is a good guy.
Children lived in Levittown, hidden the shelters underground, till the Soviets turned their ships around, tore the Cuban missiles down. And in that bright October sun, we knew our childhood days were done. And I watched my friends go off to war. What do they keep on fighting for? So my child and I came to this place to meet him eye to eye, and face to face he made my daughter laugh. Then we embraced. We never knew what friends we had until we came to Leningrad.
I love songs like this that are just so hopeful, positive, songs about friendship, camaraderie, putting aside our differences and finding the humanity within each other. Again, it feels very abstract and high level, everything I'm saying, but we can implement love in very small ways in our life. Just do one more loving thing each and every single day. It doesn't have to be that hard, and ingrain that within your character. I'm still working on it, so it's kind of like a, preach and do it thing, because what is that quote? I'm still on my journey as well, and this is like where I've landed is peace, love, and positivity, and I don't expect that to ever change, and I think I'm safe to try to spread that message to everybody I can, because truthfully, I think everybody can be reached with compassion, with love, with understanding, empathy. I did a recent reaction which really made me happy. The person who requested my reaction, he dedicated it to love and understanding. And that right there is like why I do what I do. I put out so many reactions and I love music, and it is easy for me to just share that love with you all. But I also want everybody to come away with a bit of a deeper meaning. Just do one nice thing, either for yourself or somebody you care for, because it matters. Every little thing matters, whether you recognize it or not. And our lives get very busy and we're stressed, and there are things external to us that affect us constantly. But if we can ever take a moment to just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, meditate on the love that we have, show that appreciation once in a while. It means a lot. I hope you all enjoyed the reaction today. If you would like to make a request yourself and send something my way, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.